We're out here at LiftTech Concrete Stabilization Systems. These guys do some crazy work with structural stuff, lifting up houses, picking up, raising, and stabilizing concrete. Everything's pretty awesome around here. Been working with these guys for about 4 years. Just gonna head in the shop here and get you an idea on what we're doing. So, commercial carpet, pretty heavy glue down, not too heavily saturated, but still pretty dirty, needless to say. So we're just doing a pre-CRB before we do a good vacuum, because we've got a lot of soil built up in the carpets. You can see over here we've got pretty nasty coffee stain, because who doesn't like their coffee when they're working as hard as these guys do. Nothing too bad around here. I mean, there's definitely some discoloration where the mats have been, which isn't too bad. This area is a little heavily soiled here. This isn't so bad, but this is definitely a high traffic area, and we're going to go ahead and take care of these mats for them while we're in here, because why not? Offices don't look too bad. Again, a little bit of spotting in some of these areas. Nothing too crazy though. This is the other office over here. Again, looks pretty good. Not too much of an issue. Corners are a little beat up. You know, we've definitely got some carpet missing there, some frays up around the edge that you can see. Starting to pull back here a little, so we'll go ahead and stay away from this because I don't want to pull that up. It is a glue down carpet, so hopefully she'll hold. You can see the corners are actually fraying up a little as well. From what I can tell from last time they had this cleaned, whoever did it, they didn't put down a stain blocker. Oh, there's a little bit of a glue up that's starting to buckle there. And unfortunately, without having a stain blocker, some of this area is a little bit dirtier than heavier saturated than I want to see. You know, some of these areas are, they look good on camera, but in real life they look a little fuzzy just because the material is kind of broken, and the loops and the bands from the staples from the Berber is starting to tear out. Otherwise, not too bad. A couple of miscellaneous frays here, which if I can get my camera to focus, there we are. And again, a few glue pull-ups, a couple stains we'll try. That unfortunately looks like it might be some bleaching, so it may or may not come out of there. Typically with bleaching, you're not going to get the color back, but we'll give her a whirl. Same thing here. Got a little moth friend there I'll have to bring outside before we start, because not looking to harm anyone. Other than that, nothing too crazy. We'll cut over to a clip here of us doing some tannin spotting here in a second. Start on this stain. I won't show you the other stains, really no point in that. And we'll switch over and get you a little bit of a clip of some vacuuming that's being done. Look at that guy right there sticking out. It's a big giant chunk of carpet. We'll have to shear that off so it doesn't get caught in anything. Anyways, we'll be back with you here in a minute. Alright, so while we're in here vacuuming everything, I'm going to go ahead and start working on this tannin spot here. Obviously got our coffee mix. Just going to lightly saturate this. Doesn't need to be too heavy. Just let this sit for about a minute. Yeah, if even that, maybe 10-15 seconds. Typically this stuff comes out pretty quick. We're always going to just work to blot this up. Take out that initial surface stuff, and then we'll let it sit for a while after that. But you can already see the coffee's actually coming up already. So that should take up the surface. We'll just give this a good spray. And we'll get back to it here in just a couple minutes, see how she looks. Alright, so we got most of the stuff up in here, at least dry soil wise. Between the agitation and the vacuum, we should be at about 98% solid saturation removal for soils. And this all finished up here. Turn back to our spot here that's been left soaked for a while. Go ahead and just start with that dirty rag again, just to make sure we're pulling out what's left. And we'll get a clean rag on it. Definitely quite a bit of soil coming out of that, since we haven't vacuumed over here either. Looking pretty decent. I'm not even really seeing anything coming out anymore. Looks like we got most of the tannin out. There's a little bit of a spot there, so probably work this for the next few minutes, but you can already see that spot's basically gone at this point. Alright, let's go take a look at our nice little coffee stain here, see what's going on. Nice little bubble in the carpet right there. Actually feels like it's possibly a chunk of concrete. And as you can see, that stain's basically gone. Nothing left in there. So, still a little wet, which just defines the area, but that stain's definitely out of there. Alright, go ahead and lay down our pre-treatment here. Stuff is awesome, designed for high traffic areas. Yeah, I'm starting to think that that stuff that we're seeing all around here is actually glue from the carpet that they got on here initially, just like that little spot right there. I'll have to back up since I'm doing this one-handed and trying to manage the hose and the camera. So what this is essentially a enzyme dissolver, which will help break down a lot of the grease and other nasty components in the carpet. Yeah, it looks like it's definitely glue. It's pretty hard and chunky, so that's probably been the glue down the carpet. Anyway, this spray basically breaks down all the grease, nasty stuff that's been brought in from job sites, help take care of that nasty saturation that's building up. I'm going to go ahead and drop the camera here in just a second and get to this, because we only have a few minutes to apply all this stuff before we have to move to another room and begin the saturation process and get the extraction going. After agitation, that is. So we'll get this finished up. I'm going to double up over here. There's just a little bit of junk on this carpet. Looks like everybody's either been standing there or walking in that area pretty heavily. And get to some agitation after we're done vacuuming in the other room. And we'll get back with you. Pre-treating, just happened to notice a couple other things here. So we've got a nice little seam starting to tear out just right in this section here. So we'll stay away from that, as well as these frays. Again, another little one that's happening right there. So starting to fray out pretty bad right there as well for some reason. Almost like it's felting, probably just due to the fact that it's all matted in that area. Again, finding some little glue marks all the way around here. Boy, my camera is just not wanting that. So again, glue up in the area here, and just happened to notice that there's some in this office as well. So got some pretty nasty little stains there from the resin coming through on the glue itself. I'm assuming that's a urethane base or something along those lines. Obviously, the type of stuff they glue down carpet with is always ever changing, but seems like it's just around the edges. So that is probably what that is just purely glue at this point. Unfortunately, that's just not going to come out of there. So we'll get back to pre-treating and start scrubbing and agitating and getting all this clean. All right, well, we're just done with the pre-spray and moving on to, oh my, I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's all nasty saturation back here. So that is, that's where the receptionists sit. They're here all day long, so obviously that's going to probably be the dirtiest area. But we are just working that in, brushing all the fibers, making sure everything stays loose and agitated and gets cleaned up so we don't have any problems. I'm going to unplug that one for her. This will essentially brush every single fiber of the carpet to ensure that we don't have any areas that are unmissed and untreated, and will essentially work its way through all the grease and the stains and loosen it all up for the steam extraction process. So I just thought I'd go ahead and show you the difference here once we run this over here, how much it actually removes that soil and suspends it. You can see those nice clean lines where we're going over before and after. Jump on the other side real quick. Boy, does that already make a massive difference. Now that the carpets are clean, we did a double extraction in this heavier soiled area as well as through the front. Obviously, we've got a lot of people that were standing up front here. Definitely wearing our booties now, so we don't have any issues. Not resoiling anything, but everything is looking really good now. Lots and lots and lots of dirt and debris coming out of here. I'm assuming most of this was concrete dust. It's pretty nasty. You can see how light everything is now. Let me get this light on here real quick. You can actually see the stripes on the carpet now standing up. The pile's raised. Everything's drying really nicely. Nasty, nasty stains got pulled out of just about everywhere. Other than, like I said, those little glue spots that are up in here. Unfortunately, not much we can do with those. Couple rips, couple tears, no big deal. Going here real quick. Got some air movers rolling. This area came out really clean. You can barely even see the traction areas where the pads used to sit. A little bit of a shadowing there, kind of giving the effect that it doesn't exactly exist anymore. Get this air mover out of the way. You can see that carpet stain is gone. I honestly don't know where it is or was, so that's pretty awesome. Come down, run through here. That area looks awesome too. Pile standing up really nice and neat. Conference room looks beautiful. This is actually already dry. Those air movers dry these things out quick. Surprisingly, some of the cheaper air movers that you can buy on the market, but the CFM is amazing on them in comparison to these commercial ones. Again, more glue down here. More glue up on the side over here and over there on that side that just will not extract. It is permeated pretty bad into the fibers. So the only thing we need to do at this point in time is let everything dry out just a tad bit more, and we'll move these air movers around. Once that's done, we'll go ahead and get down Scotchgard. I can tell you right now from experience, from doing this for a while and hearing absolute horror stories and seeing them myself, if you are not using Scotchgard, you are pretty much crazy and absolutely throwing away your money on the investment. You have to put a stain blocker down. Otherwise, resoiling will happen a lot faster. And there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to get the nasty stains and soil and debris out of the carpet again after you clean it next time. That's a very uncommon thing, and most people don't get that lucky. Just trust me, Scotchgard or some type of Teflon is very, very important. We just stripped all the old Teflon out of there, whatever was left from the last cleaners who didn't take care of it properly and didn't put it down. So Really lucky these stains actually came out of here. We don't have any more soiling. At this point in time, we should be good and should be able to apply this, and they shouldn't have any more issues after this. Alright, so just about to apply Scotchgard here. Again, you're forever wondering why carpets stay this nice. You think, oh, it's because it's commercial carpet. Well, the reality of the situation is typically commercial carpets are not made as great as standard carpets, but the reason these stay so nice is because of good old Scotchgard. The reality is, the only thing that's going to really fix your problems and keep them clean is by applying, straight for you here, is by applying actual Scotchgard. And reason being behind that is, wow, that is way out of focus. Let's try this again. Is because it goes into the fibers and actually fills the void up underneath the fibers that were actually designed for Scotchgard in the first place, where Teflon should be sitting, which repels the soil, keeping it suspended for the next cleaning. So go ahead and start putting this down here. So they got lucky. I wasn't out here last time cleaning this, and they didn't apply any Teflon, and luckily the stains weren't too bad. Typically, especially when it comes to stains such as concrete or industrial soils, you have a real tough time being able to pull any of this out. It's a very minor expense. Don't think that your carpet guy is attempting to sell you on something just because they want another dollar. The reality of the situation is, if you like your carpet, put it down. It comes with it initially, and if you're not putting it on there, you're having problems. Alright, like I said, after we get the Scotchgard done, we always run the counter-rotating brushes. Most commercial carpets that are extremely saturated, this being one of them. That just stains the fibers up and makes sure that we brush the Scotchgard into every single fiber that we possibly can, and make sure that we've got nice even coverage on the protectant, so we don't have to work so hard next time we come back, and it doesn't soil as quickly, which means they don't have to call us as often. So we'll go ahead and run this, and we'll go ahead and get a water dump, and I'll show you what the awesome vacuum bag looked like, even though they vacuum pretty much on a daily basis. Industrial vacuum will definitely pull out some interesting goo in comparison to a standard vacuum. Especially once we've hit it with the rotating brushes. After that, it's pretty much agitated and sitting at the surface, and those bags get pretty nasty. So that's why they call us out on a pretty regular basis to get things cleaned. We'll go ahead and end this here, and we'll get a water dump going. Alright, so moment of truth. See what this water looks like. Alright. So that is what we've extracted out of there. It's essentially liquid chocolate. You can see the suspended agents. Most of that's probably concrete, considering this is a company that works with that. Possibly dirt, who knows. It's pretty bad. Alright, just sliced this bag open from our cleaning today. Let's see what's in there. That's definitely some heavy soil. It's like got some styrofoam probably from the install that hasn't been caught yet. A lot of nasty soil in there. Looks like some sand. That's yeah, it's definitely a pretty full bag there. You can see some of the carpet fibers that were coming loose. But overall, I'd say that is a pretty decent removal of nasty debris out of that carpet. One last thing, we are an odor removal company. That being said, we don't like the smell of wet carpet, and we don't like the smell of resoiling. So we're going to go ahead and use a little Odorcide in here, which will help with any type of musty smells returning. And it will also act as an enzyme to prevent odors for up to 6 months. Now, given in this environment, Probably not that long, but it'll definitely buy us some time here and buy the customer some time before they have to call us back out. And the great thing is pet safe, completely non-toxic, organic, don't have to worry about all sorts of nasty chemicals. I've already treated out here, smells great. I'm gonna go ahead and leave our fans running just to dry this heavily soiled area. And we'll come back probably Monday and pick it up. That way we have good airflow. AC is set to help remove the soil, or I'm sorry, the moisture. And at this point in time, we are ready to go. I can finally get my booties off here as soon as I get off the carpet, and we'll call it a day. And we will see these guys on Monday to pick up fans and do a walkthrough.